because your news team matters.
Would you let your child ride the school bus with a felon convicted of selling marijuana? State regulators say they're supposed to be banned from driving a school bus forever.
But Fox 6 investigator Brian Polshu shows you how one woman got a bus license anyway and why her case could let other felons get them too.
When it comes to entrusting adults with our most precious cargo, State Senator Mary Lozick doesn't want to take any chances.
Safety of children, that's number one.
She was one of the authors of the state law that requires criminal background checks for school bus drivers, a process that is supposed to weed out drivers like Christy Loesch.
I would rather not have my child with a felon.
Loesch is a felon convicted in 2004 of selling $50 worth of marijuana to an undercover police informant.
I don't care about that. I don't care if it's $10 worth of pot. She shouldn't be around children.
According to state transportation regulations, that's supposed to ban her from driving a school bus for life. But 8 years later, the Fox 6 investigators found Loesch behind the wheel of bus number 47 in Union Grove.
I wouldn't allow my kid to drive the bus.
We found her hauling special education students for Union Grove Elementary School, a public school supported by taxpayers. And she's doing it with a perfectly valid Wisconsin school bus license. How is that possible?
It's all about the opportunity for employment.
Jill Kastner is an attorney for Legal Action of Wisconsin, which helps individuals overcome legal barriers to getting a job. Christy's barrier was that 2004 felony conviction.
A one-time mistake.
It's a mistake that Loesch failed to disclose in her application for a school bus license 5 years later. When asked if she'd ever been convicted of a crime, she checked no. So the state granted her a license, and in 2009 she went to work for S&J Bus Service in Waterford. 2 weeks later, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation discovered her conviction, then canceled her license. Loesch declined our request for an on-camera interview.
There are a lot of people who have that one mistake from their youth.
So the attorneys at Legal Action did the talking for her.
She had a solid employment history. She had proven herself responsible, and there was a significant period of time that had passed.
They helped Loesch fight to get her job back, arguing in court that she was denied due process when the DOT canceled her license without a hearing.
You couldn't even just come in and say, let me explain how I've changed, let me explain why I'm a safe person, let me show you my long history of working with kids in schools.
They took the case all the way to the Wisconsin Court of Appeals, challenging the state's official list of disqualifying crimes for bus drivers.
They went beyond what the legislature had done.
State lawmakers created a list in 2003, a list that contained about 40 offenses with bans of up to 5 years. The DOT then expanded that list to more than 100 crimes, including at least 60 that result in a lifetime ban. Legal Action argues that went too far.
When you start talking about forever for something that might have happened when you were 16, 18, 19, that starts to be, I think, a fairly clear problem.
Among the lifetime bans are drug-related crimes, which Legal Action describes as being unrelated to the safety of children.
Oh, very clearly relates.
Senator Lozick disagrees that selling marijuana or any other drug is unrelated to children.
I don't know that that's in the best interest of society to have them transporting our vulnerable children.
Who's going to guarantee me that that person is not going to offer the drugs to the kids?
Loesch's lawyers claim that the DOT's laundry list of offenses changed the intent of the legislature. Once again, Lozick disagrees.
The intent was to give DOT broad authority.
The New Berlin Republican teamed up with Milwaukee Democrat Peggy Kruzek in writing the original bill.
There was just overwhelming concern and to safeguard our children being transported to school.
They both say the DOT did what it was authorized to do. It all boils down to one fundamental question. Should a person convicted of a felony for selling drugs be banned from driving a school bus for life, as the law says, or should they be given a second chance?
I just think, period, she should not be allowed to be around children. That's it.
I know people make mistakes, but it's tough.
Has she gotten in trouble since then, or has she straightened out?
Legal Action points out that Loesch was 23 when she was convicted of selling marijuana. It was the first time she'd ever been arrested, and she hasn't been in trouble since.
Then I think she might be all right.
We may never know if Loesch would have won her case. because in July of 2010, she voluntarily dropped it in exchange for an out-of-court settlement that allowed her to undergo a special review of her fitness to drive a school bus. Based on that review, the DOT determined that she no longer posed any risk of harm.
The law hasn't changed. The rule hasn't changed, but our client was given the opportunity to apply to be a bus driver.
She got her license and her job back.
You think sometimes people deserve a second chance?
Definitely.
Not everyone in Union Grove is happy to hear that.
Operating a school bus in particular with children is a step above the normal operation of a vehicle, and I just think that those people should be held to a higher standard.
Now, Christy Loesch is working for S&J Bus Service again, which is aware of her prior conviction. The company's owner tells me she's a good driver, but otherwise declined to comment. The district administrator for Union Grove Elementary School was not aware of Loesch's prior conviction. Since learning of our story, she has instructed S&J Bus Service to take Loesch off the school's route while she conducts an internal investigation.
So she basically got the license back because of the lawsuit. What does that mean for other drivers who, might be in her situation?
Well, as of right now, absolutely nothing changes. The Department of Transportation's list of more than 100 disqualifying crimes remains in full effect, and anyone else convicted of selling marijuana or any other drug would be banned from driving a bus for life. However, because of Christie's case, the DOT has agreed that it's going to pursue a rule change that would allow individuals with certain types of criminal convictions, such as drug-related convictions, to request a rehabilitation review hearing after a period of years. But that rulemaking process could take years to complete, so for now, their only recourse is going to court like she did.
Yeah, but directly related to that case that they're looking at that even. Thank you, Brian. Thanks so much.
All right. Well, one moment your house is there.
Next moment, it's a pile of wood.